Now, I don't know if this video that I'm going to be doing right now would have gotten me into trouble if I put it in my free channel, but I don't want to run any risks, so I'm going to put it on my Patreon channel because it's something about breaking rules, okay? I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not condoning any kind of rule breaking. You should always follow the law, always, okay? But there is a universal truth that you should know, that a lot of times it is better to ask for forgiveness than for permission. A lot of times we refrain from doing something because we think that somebody else is going to be upset about it. And this, I think, is a very dangerous attitude. I think that you should never be thinking to yourself whether somebody else is going to be upset by what you do, but you should be thinking, is what I want to do beneficial to me? If it's beneficial to you, then by all means, go ahead and do it. Absolutely. If it is beneficial to you, it will improve your circumstances, whatsoever that may be. Go ahead and do it. And it doesn't matter what somebody else thinks. It doesn't matter what somebody else thinks or what they will say or what they will even do up to a point. Now I'll get to that in just a moment. But you should just go ahead and do what is best for you irrespective of the rules. Always, in every single situation. Now here comes the tricky part. You see, you have to understand that if you do something that goes against what other people want or desire, or the rules, as the case may be, you have to realize that there are going to be consequences. There are going to be consequences, negative consequences to you. Punishment, yeah. I mean, like, just for a trivial example, you know, your mother says, don't eat another ice cream. And you go to the freezer, take out an ice cream, and you start to eat it. And then you get whacked upside the head by your mother. Was that pleasant? No. Was it worth it? That's the question. See, so many times people decide not to do something because they are more afraid of the punishment, and they don't realize that the punishment or the repercussions of what they do are going to be fairly minimal or not so bad, or you know, it's going to be worthwhile to eat the ice cream and get whacked. Whacked not in the mafia sense, but whacked upside the head like in the mother sense. You know what I'm saying? But it's very true. It's very true, because most of the time you will find that the negative repercussions, especially when you are breaking a rule, they're usually not that bad. They are usually not that bad, so long as you're actually getting benefit out of it. I've noticed that there is a class of people, self-destructive people, who break rules, but without any real desire to get a benefit out of it. Like, for instance, you know, young guys, that will stupidly spray graffiti right in front of the fucking cops, right? What benefit are they getting out of it? Zero to none. I mean, who gives a shit if you know, tag your name on some fucking building? The next morning, the owner of the building is just going to paint over it, so that little mark will be gone. And of course, you're going to be going to jail for at least a night or two while this all gets sorted out in the legal system of whatever city you happen to be in when you did this idiocy. You see my point? A lot of self-destructive people commit infractions that do not give them any benefit. And this I've never understood. Since I was little, I've never understood this notion of breaking rules without a clear benefit. Yeah, more to the point, see, when you have a clear notion of what you stand to gain by breaking a rule, by committing an infraction, then you can modulate whether that price, that benefit, is worth the penalty. See? I mean, like, for instance, just say for the sake of argument, that, you know, I'm in the position to steal $1 billion, enough money to set me up for life. $1 billion, I can steal it. And if I get caught, they won't be able to recover the money, but they will fine me, say, $100 million. And I'll go to jail for 5 years. Would it be worth it? Fuck yeah, it'd be worth it, of course. Think of it. See, if I steal $1 billion, and if they catch me, I have to pay a penalty of $100 million, and I get to keep the other $900 million, and I have to go to jail for 5 years. Well, 5 years, it's not going to be fun, but it's not a lifetime, right? And assuming that I at least live another year after those 5 years, it will have been worth it. Sure, of course. Yeah. This is a hypothetical, and it's an impossibility, but you see the calculation that you have to be doing, see? So you have to be asking yourself, what is the benefit of this action that I'm committing, and what are the potential negative consequences? What is the potential price that I will have to pay? Because of course there's a possibility that you might get away with it, that you still steal the $1 billion and you get off scot-free, no penalty, no 5 years in prison. No, it's just you and $1 billion, baby. Yeah, there's a possibility, and you have to look into that. What I'm saying is that you have to understand that the rules, the rules that are in place, the societal norms, whatsoever they may be, they are, in a very real sense, arbitrary. And what you have to be thinking is not of the rules, but rather what you stand to gain by breaking them. What are the odds that you will be caught? And what are the penalties if you are caught? And once you know those 3 bits of information, you have to ask yourself, well, is it worth it? As some of you may know, I've been working on a book on morality, on ethics, and I wrote something there casually. I tossed it off without really thinking about it. And then I'm realizing that it's sort of like a central facet of my life. And the sentence that I tossed off was that, my own personal morality was pretty much of doing whatever I wanted so long as I figured I could get away with it, which is pretty much true. I mean, it's not that I've murdered anybody or stolen anything. No, because I've always thought to myself that, if I murder somebody, I'll probably get caught. Hang on. Maybe it's the cops. No, it's just a stupid alarm I forgot to turn off. Anyway, I thought to myself, maybe, if I murdered somebody, I'd probably get caught, because people usually get caught, and, I'm not up for that. And there's never been any reason to kill anybody, quite frankly. And if I were to steal somebody, I'd probably get caught. And so, what's it worth? Or let me rephrase it. The things that I could potentially steal were not worth the penalty. Yeah, I mean, I can potentially steal a car, yeah, but the penalty, if I get caught, it's just not worth it, you see? But there have been other things that I've done, bending the rules a little bit or by a lot, and I've gotten away with it. I've gotten away with it, or the penalty was relatively insignificant compared to the benefit that I accrued, you see? That's been my morality. And you'll find it's the morality of most people. Yeah, most people, they live their lives that way. They follow the rules so long as they figure that breaking the rules might cost them too much. They do more or less whatever they want so long as, the penalty is not that big of a deal. And see, if you realize this, you understand something essential, which is that you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want. And if the odds are good that you can get away with it, then why not do it? Because you see, at the end of the day, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission. To go back to the original example, your mother said, don't eat the ice cream, right? If you eat the ice cream, you're going to get slapped upside the head. You go ahead and you eat the ice cream. And of course your mother finds out, okay, because she sees that there's one less ice cream. And she says, you ate the ice cream when I told you not to do it. And so what do you say as she's about to slap you upside the head? You say, oh, I'm so sorry. I couldn't help myself. Mom, I'm so sorry, please. And what's your mother going to say? Oh, well, poor little Timmy, he was hungry and he looks like he's very contrite. And you'll be like, the mother will be like, wax him a little bit and say, go on and go and play with your little friends. And that'll be that. Because it's always easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission. And that's a universal truth. And that has implications for you as an adult. See, you have to understand something about being an adult and the lives of the adults. Do you know who are the successful people in this world? They are the people who ignore the rules and who are making that constant calculation. What can they get away with? And if they can't get away with it, what will be the punishment? And will the punishment be that much greater than the benefit of breaking this rule? Because see, most rules, why are they imposed? To maintain order. And maintain order among the mass of people. And you have to understand that the vast majority of people, I'm talking 90% of people, they're fucking sheep. they're never going to amount to much. The vast majority of people are never going to amount to much. They're just merely existing. And it's an ugly truth, but it's the truth. And you know it's the truth. You look around at the people in your life, and they're just grazing like cows on an open field. They're just like chewing cud, you know. They got zero thoughts in their empty little heads. Well, that's the truth about human beings. 90% of people are fucking cows, and they follow the rules. The 10% that don't follow the rules, that do whatever the fuck they want, they actually accomplish shit in this world. They're the people who go and do shit and make something of themselves, and the excess of what they make for themselves splashes over to the rest of society and raises everybody up. That's the truth. That's the goddamn truth. And the rules have been created by members of this 10% who got to the tippity top. They got to the top of the pyramid, the leadership positions, and they impose these rules for the sheep. And the sheep follow the rules. But to get to the top, you have to ignore the rules and do whatever the fuck you want. And understand this simple truth. It is easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission. The costs of breaking the rules are usually far less than the benefit.